Grand Rising, Elizabeth. Today is November the 21st, 2022. We want to thank you for joining us. Today, your host is the beautiful Danielle Claxton. We have two guests today, so enjoy, sit back, or lay back, or whatever, but enjoy yourself today. Danielle, it's all yours. Unmute yourself, dear.
That would help, wouldn't it? Grand Rising, everybody. How are you?
Great. And rising.
Grand Rising, doing well.
Yep.
And how was
How
everything?
are you?
I'm blessed and highly favored. I will say, how was everybody's weekend?
It was awesome.
It was relaxing, really relaxing for me.
It was relaxing for me as well. I've got a lot of stuff. You know how we just have little stuff? It'd be little stuff, just stuff that just accumulates, that just needs to get gone.
Uh-huh.
You know, I spent majority of the weekend cleaning up. I still got more cleaning to do, but I feel accomplished that something, you know how you just got to get started on something. So I got started and just give some order to some stuff. One of the things resources that I love getting rid of stuff is because I live in Southfield. I'm part of a group called Southfield, like, I can't think of the name of it, but basically you're giving stuff away. You don't sell anything, you give it away. So I had a lamp, I had a salt lamp and a oil diffuser that I just had extra stuff. I didn't feel like selling it. I didn't feel like meeting up with nobody. I didn't feel like doing nothing. I took a picture of it. I said, here's my address. It's outside. Come get it. Somebody came and got it. It was a beautiful thing. I'm like, I don't even know who got it. I don't know what they look like. Because usually people put their stuff on the curb or on the porch or something. I'm in an apartment building, but I'm like, it's gone. So I'm like, oh, I like this. I like this a lot. It makes it a lot easier to just get rid of stuff. So I think there might be Detroit resources. I think there's other groups on Facebook that's like that, where you just come get it.
Yeah.
Like, if you got the means to come get it, come get it. But I'm glad to be able to get in finishing up getting this stuff together. Because it's like, you sit down, you just be like, got too much stuff. Like, what is this? Why? Just why? So I do have two wonderful guests on today. I have the wonderful, fabulous Aisha Ellis, who is a spiritual sister of mine. Actually, they both my sisters in two different capacities, and they both have kind of the same. I know we all into herbs. That's for sure. We all have our own sense of own businesses and everything like that. And yeah, we are. I don't know. I'm multifaceted, so it's like I know people from. I have a resource in my in my phone. People be like, I need a massage therapist. I got 13. What do you want? Man, woman, tall, short, thick? Because I just know people, and because I know people, I save them. What is it? To you, if I'm not using it, I know somebody else does. So I am actually going to get started. Well, Aisha, where you at? Why you not on camera?
I'm getting it together.
Love Aisha. That's all I have to say. She just keeps me going. But so that's you can. I'm gonna let you get together. Well, you know what I want to do before we get together, because I always meant to do this, and I get so busy and don't do it, and it's a testament to how my day goes. I actually want to start off the show with a meditation because it's Monday, and ever since I started doing the show, the connotation of what Mondays mean has completely changed. For everybody else, is madness. For me, it's not. It is one of the most peaceful days ever. It's busy, it's productive, but ever since we started doing this show, it's like, oh, my Mondays are not like everybody else's Mondays. So I do, and I think I have it set up where you can hear my music.
Okay.
I think. But if not, Queen Aduni and Phillips Harmonic Hale have a wonderful compilation on, what is that, YouTube. It's called Focus.
Mm.
Beyond.
Oh, Beyond. Sorry.
Focus, yes.
Okay. That's not one of them.
Girl.
I was gonna say, but that's, that works too.
Well, you know what? That song, I love that. Well, we've been talking about ancestors for a while. That's one of my favorite songs from Detroit local artist Monica Blair, and it's called Call. It's in a playlist that I have. I'll play it anyways. I might maybe it's just meant for me to play it. It's called Call. It has that church beat to it, and it's about calling on your family. But sometimes I feel like your ancestors are your family. So it's like it's in my ancestor playlist because it's got that little church beat, and I'm like, oh, okay. When we need help, when we need something, and it shouldn't always be when we need something, but sometimes I find myself, I need somebody to talk to, just talk to. There's nobody around. I can always pull up a chair and talk to an ancestor, somebody. So I will play that one because it's a good song. I don't even know if there's a video. First of all, let me see if there's a video, because I know sitting there looking at each other, listening to something is not necessary. My forte. But I had a wonderful weekend. Mama Evelyn, I see you did your mug rug this past weekend. It was cute.
Thank you. And I'm starting on some more, working on some more.
Oh,
You're gonna do another one, or are you working on something else?
No, I'm working on another one. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh
8,
my!
9, 10. I got 11.
I thought about that, and I said, well, I can do them, and then like what you're doing, make a lot, and then put them together. And while we're on that note, Mom, yes, yeah. While we're on that note, my mom left 2 large quilts that she didn't finish.
Okay.
The front is finished, but I have to do, and I'm going to do that for her, but I'm going to need your help. I've never done quilting, but I'm gonna complete that for her.
Okay.
That's
Giant, they're giant ones, so that's going to be some work.
Okay.
So thank you, thank you, Mama Evelyn, for volunteering.
Also, what was that? Was it Saturday night? Saturday night, we I know me, Queen Aduni, and what is it, Mama Juanita, we went to a sound bath.
Oh
My God, by Ray Smith and his indigenous music players. Danielle, you would have loved them because they actually had indigenous. He didn't just have singing bowls. They had indigenous music, the gong, the didgeridoo, some other stuff. Some instruments I didn't recognize. I know the sound, but I don't know what to call them. And to just sit there and let the vibration frequency of that music sit there and just penetrate your body was absolutely amazing.
yeah.
I did talk to Edwina. She said that they're doing another one.
Edwana.
Edwana. December 13th. I think it's December the 13th or 16th. I know it's a Saturday.
13.
Okay, December 13th. So just save the date, put it on your what is it? Put it on your calendar to be announced, more information, because it was absolutely amazing. I listen to that type of music from time to time.
Me too.
Huh?
I said me too, because I have a whole indigenous music playlist, and when I want to get in my meditation, I like listening to the flutes and doing chants and traditional songs and things like that. I'm all about sound healing. Like that's one of my favorite healing modalities.
Yeah. Awesome.
So I'm gonna put this meditation on. It's about 8 minutes long, just to decompress, just to clear our minds, just to let things flow. you know, like I said, meditation definitely helps calm my brain down because I usually have like 1,000 things going all at once trying to get my attention. So this is just a woosah, just to breathe and just to set the tone. And then once we come out of meditation, Danielle, be ready because I'm going to bring you on as the indigenous medicine woman that you are, and we're going to talk about the herbs that we can have in our, what is it, home apothecary to
Yeah.
keep us well. Period. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna start playing this and just let it guide you where it guides you, and we'll talk about it when we come out.
Danielle, do you mind if we set our timer for 5 minutes so that both our sisters have time? Are you setting your timer or do I need to set mine?
Take your time.
Okay. Danielle, we don't hear anything, sweetie.
You done?
Hmm?
I said you done. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I am so sorry, Queen Aduni. Why don't you put something on for me? Because I really thought that you guys would be able to hear it.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. I just wanted to get a meditation on.
Mm-hmm.
Now I heard something.
Here we go.
Or something. It's
Yeah, that was me.
Okay.
I had to bring it back.
So if you're just now joining us, we're just going into a 5-minute meditation, just set the tone. Okay, now it just went out. Welcome back. That was a journey. And I just wonder, was that Phil?
Yes, Philharmonic.
It's beautiful.
If you're not sure who Phil Harmonic is, that's Queen Aduni's other half, her husband, who is an amazing keyboard musician. And I've been wanting to meditate to his music for years. So this is coming full circle because I love Philip's music. Philip plays with a lot of local musicians, a lot of different trios. Most famously, I know he plays with blues singer Thornetta Davis. So I'm like, to just hear him by himself is like, he's great in a trio, but by himself is like, ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. So coming back from that journey, how do you guys feel? How did you like that music, first of all?
I think the music was
Beautiful.
beautiful. Just really and like a lot of angelic vibes to it, and I heard like some jazz elements and even the church gospel keyboard element to it. I liked it. It just kind of sparked a memory, and it really set the tone for today, which is Monday, the day of the moon. So, it's a time to just really go within and reflect and tap into that emotional side of yourself and that feminine energy. So, thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. And, I thank you for jumping right in. So we're going to go straight to you and all your wonderfulness. I'm just going to introduce you. Danyelle, I've known Danyelle for years. It's been years. And we are both, one thing commonality she and I has besides us being into holistic wellness and having the desire to help people transform themselves through healing is we're both students, former mentees of what is it, Mama Raven. And if you don't know who Mama Raven is, she's an excellent elder with a wealth of knowledge when it comes to herbs and just clean holistic wellness. She usually does these chat and chews where you sit down and you're actually chewing on the foods that you're chatting about and pertaining to a particular either for overall general health or I want to say for overcoming a particular dis-ease. And so Danielle and I have both been trained on how to lead these chat and chews, which I absolutely love because I'm a foodie. I like to eat. So to be able to sit here and talk about the benefits of apples and how you can get an apple in your body just besides just eating it, eating a raw apple. You can stew them, you can bake them, you can buy the apple chips. I mean, there's such a variety as to how to do this. And so, I know in the last couple of years, Danielle's gotten into indigenous medicine. And, I just love her vibe and everything. We can go for hours on stuff, on top of stuff, on top of stuff. But I'm going to let Danielle introduce. And it's funny because when we're around certain people, we have nicknames. Because I'm Danny 1, because I'm older. I'm the elder of the two. And she's Danny 2. That's how we can separate us. If we're together, you can Danny 1 and Danny 2, because it's like, it gets confusing. You be like, Danielle, like, which one?
Like, huh? Oh, that one.
This one, that one, the young one. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna let Danny 2 go ahead and introduce herself and talk to us about these herbs that we need to have in our medicine cabinet.
So, Halito, everyone. So, I'm Danielle Naniwaya, and thank you so much to Danny 1, for inviting me to this platform today. And I'm just really loving the vibe from all of the women and this just nurturing and nourishing feminine energy that I'm feeling today. And so thank you for just welcoming me with that energy. So as Danny 1 was saying, I am an herbalist. I studied under Mama Raven for a few years. And one of the best takeaways that I got from her was incorporating the herbs in your food. So over the years, I have started incorporating more herbs, especially edible herbs, into my food, adding them to my soups or stir fries and salads and things of that nature. Eating more bitter herbs because a lot of people don't um, fulfill that bitter part of their palate because we have, multiple taste buds on our palate. And most people just fulfill that salty and that sweet craving, but we don't get the bitter, which is the most important thing for our digestion. So, um, making sure that you're cleansing your blood, cleansing your bowels, digestive system, and also identifying herbs in nature. So going out in nature and being able to know, build a relationship with your plant medicine, harvesting it yourself, just knowing what it is on hand, because you never know if you're gonna always have access to ordering herbs online, or they may run out of stock, or there may be some different backups due to just like we went through this pandemic, so a lot of people weren't able to have access to things that they usually did order online. So just knowing what medicine and food is there in your backyard is so important, so vital to your survival. Um,
I
and
just,
aside,
I just want to interject real quick because the last time, it was the October before last when we was at oh my God, what was the name of that farm on the east side?
oh, Detroit to Bloom.
Detroit to Bloom. So this is how I realized my herbal skills had been stepped up to like 2.0, was being at Detroit to Bloom at the end of harvest season, just looking at everything and being out there. And actually, I was with you because we was looking for something. We found wild lettuce. We found what is it? The black walnut. It was stuff that for the first time I actually was able to identify stuff out in nature. And I'm like, whoa, like I didn't know I could do that. Didn't know I could do that. Didn't know I could just go out and find the wild lettuce was really cool to identify by its leaves. I think we was looking for dandelion. We was looking for dandelion and we ended up finding wild lettuce. And at this point, I'm actually eating straight from the ground, tasting this stuff. And I'm like, oh, we didn't step this up to a whole nother level. Being able to identify this out in nature and being able to actually, forage.
Yeah.
Is an excellent skill to have. I just wanted to interject because I was with you when that happened. I was like, oh wow, this is a whole nother level.
Yeah, because it was burdock growing out there, and which is good for your blood. Red clover. There was turkey tail mushrooms growing on the log, and other mushrooms. And Detroit to Bloom is a really good place to visit if you're able to, if you have free time. They're located on Manistee, so they're in the Jefferson Chalmers neighborhood, and they got everything going. Like their mission is to save and protect native plant species, because the native plant species are, basically the plants that are indigenous to this land. They're better for the environment, and they're good for us. They're good for the animals, repopulating native bird species and butterfly species and insects and other native animals. Also good for rainwater management as well, because the native plants, they penetrate deeper into the ground than versus an invasive species of plant. So it's going to absorb all the rainwater, which helps prevent flooding. So they have a lot of things growing: yarrow, elderberry.
On this little plot of land, they got everything, and the people actually pay for you can actually get a plot and plant whatever you want to plant on there. They have a little bit of everything. Like we're going to, when spring and summer comes, we can actually do some, herbal plant identification walks. First of all, it's just beautiful to just go and just walk in this garden. It's refreshing for the mind, the body, and the soul. And to see these plants grow and just the whole season, it's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful and amazing place. I just had to interject because I love Detroit to Bloom. It's just gorgeous. It's like, oh my God, you can see the beauty and everything. And what's the flower? Nasturtium. Am I saying that right? Nasturtium. Yeah, you introduced me to nasturtiums. These edible flowers that you can add to your salads and everything. They had them growing all over the place. And what is the name of the flower that really is prevalent, like in fall? It's like fallish. It's their
Goldenrod.
Well, it wasn't an herb. It was more of a plant that they were growing for aesthetic reasons. But it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, marigolds also are prevalent in the fall too.
Yeah.
And also edible too and medicinal. They're good for cleansing out stomach worms and parasites. So that's another one that is prevalent in the fall that you can see growing.
So what do we need to have in our, I want you to lead us while we're into this cold and flu and COVID and whatever the hell else season that's upon us. What do we need to have in our homes, and also in what form?
You're so right about whatever the hell else because there is so much going on right now. Like every other week it's like something new. Like I'm like, look, you just gotta really do what you can to prepare yourself. And I'm gonna give you guys a list of herbs you can add to your cabinet. And even if you just have a few of these herbs, you don't have to have every single one, but these are, just a few suggestions that I would suggest. So number one, and one that's really gained in popularity in recent years, is elderberry. Elderberry is a native plant. It's an immunostimulant. It has antimicrobial properties. It's also an expectorant, meaning that it's going to help expel all that mucus out of your lungs and nasal passages. And it's also a diaphoretic, so it's going to help you sweat. And sweating is really good and necessary to detox your body, as well as breaking fevers. So add elderberry for sure. The next herb is going to be white pine needles. I actually a few months ago we went up north and we foraged some wild white pine. There's some white pine growing on the Detroit riverfront as well that you can also forage for yourself if you can't find anybody selling it online. It's an immunostimulant, it's an expectorant, demulcent, diaphoretic properties, and it's also a diuretic, so it's going to help you use the bathroom. It's one of the best things to have for cold and flu. It has a higher vitamin C content than citrus fruits. So you're really gonna need that. It's really good for even for dealing with viruses.
Now, would you use the white pine needles in a tea?
So you can do the white pine needles in the tea form. So what I do is I take the needles and I boil it in a pot of water, and that's my tea. I guess that would be more so of a decoction because the needles are kind of like, it's best to boil it to get the properties out of it.
Okay.
I made a tincture out of the white pine needles before. You can infuse it into make a salve out of it. So infuse it with different body butters, and you can put it on yourself topically because it's really going to help your respiratory system. And it's considered in indigenous culture as the grandmother tree. So it's associated with the sky realm and the different beings in the sky. It's also like the tree of peace. It represents the great law, or the Gaia Nashagawa, which is the great law of peace. So the white pine is representative of that. What else? Slippery elm. Slippery elm is another good one as an expectorant. So slippery elm is a tree, and the commonly used part of that tree is the bark. So I have some slippery elm bark that I use. So if I'm feeling something in my throat or a cough, I make a tea out of the slippery elm.
I'm going to interject real quick, ladies. Slippery elm is a good all herb to have in your cabinets. One of the good side effects of slippery elm, because I use it in my yoni steam practitioner when I'm doing yoni steams. Just listen to the first word, slippery. I'm gonna let your mind go where it needs to go for that. But slippery.
Okay.
But she's
Yeah,
right about that because
it helps keep the body the yoni gets a little wet, a little slippery.
you're right. You're right because one of the properties of slippery elm is mucilage. Sometimes when you see plants and they have like that fuzziness to it, or it has like a gel coming out of the plant, it has mucilage in it. And mucilage, what it does is it helps brings moisture to different areas in the body. So if you have like dry nasal symptoms, you get an herb that has mucilage in it, like the slippery elm. Another one is mullein. Mullei's really fuzzy, so it has mucilage and sapness in it, so it's gonna
Did you say mullein?
mullein.
Okay, mullein. And I think I'm just gonna say add that one to your list too, because mullein is mucilage, like she said, it's mucilage, but what is mullein most commonly known for?
Mullein is most commonly known for its expectorant properties, for like if you have issues with the lung, pneumonia, symptoms, asthma, if you just have, just, a lot of phlegm in your lungs, it's going to help bring that out of your lungs.
So is that is that something that you drink and steam and put your head so it comes into your nose and stuff like that? You can do both.
So I've done teas with mullein. I've also have smoked mullein before.
I smoked mullein before too. Yes,
Really?
it's a smoking herb.
Yeah, it's a smoking herb.
Mhm.
Mullein also, people do the steams with it. So you can do a yoni steam with mullein actually, and you also can use it as a facial steam to help open up your nasal passage and your lungs. Mullein also at one point in time was used as a primitive candle or a primitive torch. So they would dip it in like wax, and you can light it with the fire, and you can use that as a torch as well. So that's another good emergency survival tip, just in case you don't have no candles. Mullein was also used in like the indigenous folks would take it and put it inside their moccasins to insulate their feet, and also in gloves as well.
And there's also one more use for mullein too. People don't realize. Sometimes people use it as natural toilet paper. Like when it gets to that point, you can use the leaves of mullein as toilet paper.
Good point. Good point. I forgot to mention
That's a comfortable wipe.
too.
That's a cozy wipe.
A cozy wipe. I like that.
And
Now,
look,
I've
and
used
that's your
mullein
body.
for ear infections too.
Oh, yep, ear infections. And when you're using it as a toilet paper, you're cleansing your nether regions too, because the medicine is getting down there. So
Yeah.
yeah, mullein is a really good herb to have on your list, and it grows wild too. It's everywhere.
It
Yeah.
is. And also for my smokers, it's a good lung detox. So if you already know how to roll, cannabis, then you should have no problem rolling mullein. And if it's your first time, you will get a violent cough. But I swear to God, you will get so much stuff that comes up. You'll be sitting there looking like, that was in my lungs right there. After that first time, you're good. But the first time, if you smoke mullein, just expect to get this coughing that comes about, and then extra stuff that comes along with it.
That's true. That's true. It's gonna take all that gunk out of your lungs, like for sure. Another thing you want to have in your cabinet, which I'm sure everybody has, but I don't know. Some people don't like onions, but hey, look, grow up. Onions are good for you. Cook with them. You should be cooking onions with everything. Like I grew up, my mom had onions and garlic in everything, no matter what it was. And it's a medicine. A lot of people don't realize it's a medicine because it has the antimicrobial properties. It has mucilage in it, which is going to be good for your immunity and your respiratory function. It's an expectorant. It's going to get all that gunk and phlegm and mucus out of your lungs. So yes, have onions. You actually can cut an onion up and sit it out, and it's going to absorb all of those microbials into the onion. There's also
started doing that.
Yeah, it's really
We
good.
just started doing that.
And you can put it in your sock too, because I tried the sock method, and it actually works. Like I came down with something a couple years ago, and I sliced up some onion, put it in my sock, slept with it, and the next morning I was feeling good. So So definitely have onions. The next one I want to recommend is ginger. There is a variety of wild ginger that grows up north, which is Canadian wild ginger. But if you can't get your hands on that or know how to identify it, there's also the Asian variety of ginger that has the same properties. Ginger, I like to take a piece of ginger and just chew on it. You can drink it as a tea. You can cook with the ginger. You can make a syrup out of the ginger. Um, this is really going to fight that inflammation within your body. It's going to break up all of that phlegm and mucus. It's going to help your immunity. So yes, please add ginger to your cabinet. Cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is another important one. It's an analgesic, meaning that it's really good for pain and inflammation. It's really good for pain. So if you have a pain in your body, like I actually make a salve with cayenne pepper. And when I'm feeling like some pain in my joints or anything, I rub it on my body. It's good to warm up your body too. It's also anti-inflammatory. It's a carminative, which means it's good for flatulence if you have gas and digestive problems. And it's a stimulant herb. It's also going to help if you have like a wound and you have a lot of bleeding. Sprinkle cayenne pepper on it. It's going to stop your bleeding. Also, a lot of people don't know that the cayenne pepper can stop a heart attack as well.
So
On the
how do
onset.
you, okay, so the first question is when you put the cayenne pepper, is it going to burn from just putting it on there? Will it burn that area that's open? And then what was the second part that you said?
That the cayenne pepper is found to actually stop heart attacks.
So how are you applying that? So those are my two questions.
Good question. So you can actually, like, if you're bleeding, you can take the cayenne pepper powder and sprinkle it on the wound, and it can stop the bleeding. And you don't have to put too much of it. You are going to feel like a little burning or tingling sensation with it, but it does work. But you only need a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing, like if a person is having a heart attack, like, there's actually some cayenne pepper tinctures out there on the market now. Okay, yeah, so you got it, pure herbs. And you can just take a few drops of that, put it under the person's tongue, and it can stop their cardiac arrest symptoms or heart attack symptoms before, as you're getting them to the hospital.
Also, this is a good one to have. This is straight. They call it the scientific name for cayenne pepper is caspium. This right here, herbal tincture, is also good for circulation. If you're dealing with poor circulation, as far as like high blood pressure and different things of that nature. This is the only tincture on pure herbs that you have to take the dropper and put this in water to drink, because it is you don't want to burn your esophagus by taking this straight. So you have to put this in 8 ounces of water and take it. It is you can also use this and mix it with like some shea butter if there's a particular area on the body that for pain. So you end up making like your own tincture, just mixing it. But you do have to wash your hands afterwards because it's
you start touching your face after you can touch that stuff, like, just don't do it.
So if a person is having a heart attack and do you need to water it down? I mean, like, okay, to put it in their mouth or something like that? Okay.
Go ahead. You know what? We got Nicole, Dr. Nicole on the or is that
Yeah.
I see a hand. Come on, jump in the conversation. Come on, we talking about.
I was just wanting to add a little bit when you were talking about the wound care with your cayenne and you're doing the powder. You want to take marshmallow root. You want to put the marshmallow root and plantain powder on top of that if you have it, and then put cayenne around the perimeter. Yes, it will burn. It won't burn for long. It just depends on your threshold of pain, but it will help you. Okay. For the heart attack, you want to take a teaspoon to a tablespoon underneath it. If you feel something coming on, you getting the pain or the tingling on the left side, something feels off underneath the tongue. And then drink something like a carrot juice or milk to help with the sensation in the stomach. You will have a euphoric feeling at first because it will get you high.
Yeah, because it's a stimulant.
That much, right? That much, it will give you a euphoric feeling. But when you're doing wound care and it's open, it's good to have marshmallow root. But the cayenne pepper, you put it around the perimeter of the open wound.
Oh, okay.
Right? All right. And then it'll stop the bleeding because it does stop weird bleeding. There's some other herbs that do that as well in the body that you can't figure out what, how, when, why. It does stop it. But again, around the perimeter, the cayenne pepper is, I'm glad y'all talking about it because cayenne pepper, and you really want to go after the African bitters, right? I mean, not African bitter, African bird cayenne pepper.
You said
Because
African bird?
It's a distinct difference. And I hate that Pure Herbs changed theirs, but they had no choice because of what's going on with the whole political, but getting it from Africa to here and finding the source.
So
to
African
get
bird.
enough. That one is the one you want to go after. The other one, it doesn't have all of the properties like the African bird pepper does. So in your searching, African bird cayenne pepper. Okay.
But if
Sometimes
you
on
got it,
Amazon,
until you get the African bird, the one that
use
you
it.
cook with in the kitchen,
Yeah.
it should be okay.
Yeah. And notice a difference between the chili and a
Cayenne pepper.
cayenne pepper. A
Yeah.
chili will actually stimulate your stomach in the wrong way. Cayenne pepper will actually heal your stomach. And they tell you, oh, I got ulcers. They will heal the ulcers. It won't feel good, but it will heal them. Right? Okay, that's all. I just wanted to add to that when I heard that, and I was like, wait. I just wanted to add. But wonderful. Peace, sisters, peace. I'm just listening in the background while I'm working.
I say, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Do we have any more hands? Nope. Okay. Do we have any more, Danielle? Because I think we got a list of 8. You got 2 more?
So one more thing I would say too is add different seaweeds and mosses to your cabinet as well, because they're a really good source of trace minerals and a really good source of iron, and they're really good for your immunity and your digestive system and your blood. So add things like the seaweed, sea moss, kelp, and there's so many different varieties of them, but they all pretty much have the same or similar properties. So whichever one you can get your hands on, like the nori is really good to, you can eat that, add it to your salad. They're all edible. I have some purple Jamaican sea moss that I use that I clean and I make it into a gel, and you can take it by itself or you can add it to your smoothie. You can cook with it. I added it to soups and different things that I've cooked before. So that's something that's
Moss
really
and
good.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
I sneak sea moss and everything. So you might get cornbread for me. It's gonna have some sea moss in it.
Yeah, I've had cornbread with sea moss in it. I mean, you don't taste it, so you're not really gonna know that it's there, but you're still getting the properties from the medicine.
So I am so appreciative. I got my list. I don't know about you guys, but I got my list.
Me
And
too.
you
I
just
wrote
brought
it down.
Yeah, Mama had put it in the chat.
Yeah, thank you for putting it in the chat, Mama Het.
Well, I think I missed something. Sea moss and what else? Sea moss and what else?
Elderberry.
Got that. Got that.
Cyprium,
White pine
Y'all.
needle.
echinacea.
Oh, I forgot echinacea. Somebody gonna have to help me with that spelling. I need help with that one.
I could type it in the chat.
I know when Fana was here. How do I have this echo? When Fana was here, she would, she'd go in the kitchen and get her, morning stuff, and she would just take a spoonful of sea moss and just, every day she just, or anytime she would just, take it. She didn't have to mix it with anything. It was just, she'd take her spoon, dip it, and keep on going.
That's the best thing, really, to take it straight. So go
Chase it. I gotta chase it. I can take it straight, but I do have to chase it with something. Which would be like, I would chase it with like maybe some noni juice or another medicinal type of drink, or like a green tea or something.
Something I did before too is like when I made my gel, I added blueberries to it. And so I made a blueberry sea moss gel.
Ooh,
Sounds
good.
I've done. Sometimes I infuse. I go crazy with it. I either infuse my sea moss like crazy, or well, it's not a huckleberry, honeyberry. When I did a belly dance retreat a few months ago, I got introduced to a honeyberry, and a honeyberry has like almost 10 times more of the properties of the blueberries when it comes to helping with diabetes and the vitamins that's in it and everything. So I actually made some honeyberry, infusing it with the honeyberries. You can take fresh fruit and infuse it with your sea moss if that's going to be a better way for you to get it down. I typically like it plain like this right here, but if you can do strawberry, you can do blueberry, you can add it if that's going to make it better for you. Plain is easier for me because I can add it to anything. When you start adding the berries to it, you can't add it to sneak it into other stuff.
Right.
But we might just need to do a sea moss gel making class, because
I like it.
this is really, really easy. And you guys are gonna make me take my sea moss right now. So there you go.
And
I
also,
definitely learn how to make it myself.
it's so simple. Just equal parts of the sea moss to the water, or whatever consistency you like. Some people like it thicker, some people like it more liquidy.
I think I'm in between.
I do mine in a Vitamix. I don't even boil it. I just once it's soaked after 24 hours, pour it in a Vitamix, and then I'm watching the water to get like an applesauce consistency. Once I have the applesauce, I put it in the mason jar, and then we good to go.
Yep.
Oh, you can also use sea moss as a face mask and as a hair mask too. The minerals penetrate the skin and the hair beautifully. Absolutely gorgeous.
Oh my goodness.
I've heard that, but I just haven't gotten around to trying it yet. I do want to try that out though.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to have a sea moss beauty day, because it does the body good. You could tell the difference if you took a little bit and just put it on your skin and let it sit for like a minute or two and then take it off. It's like it's almost as if you put oil on that spot, but you didn't. You just put the sea moss on there. So just imagine what it would do for the skin, what it would do. That's why there's some people are making like sea moss infused shea butters. And that's what I want to learn how to do, how to take this gel and make my own shea butter, because I love supporting my Black people, but I just can't afford $40 for some sea moss shea butter. But I got shea butter and I got cocoa butter.
That right there. Yeah.
So I just need a
40
recipe.
pounds of shea butter
To just make it happen, and then I can have my own shea butter infused cream. So yeah.
You said you had plenty of shea butter, Mama Evelyn?
I said I'm about to I gotta call my girlfriend, and I'm about to go in with her to buy 40 pounds of shea, because like I said, my daughter uses it like water. And,
So if you use that for your hair, is that as a conditioner, and then you rinse it Or can it be used as that you make a spritz where you can, especially when we're talking about locks and our hair in its natural state, not if you have pressed it and stuff like that, but I would suppose that pressing it would be as a conditioner that you would rinse out before they go to pressing the hair. But as it is in our natural state, you could use it as a conditioner, rinse out, I guess, or you can have it in a spritz bottle where, throughout the week you can always, energize your hair with the sea moss. I'm just creating something. Does that make sense?
It does. I just need to know how to do it. Like, I know they use it for the cream. Like, there's a really expensive brand called La Mer, and I had somebody give it to me. This is like $300 facial cream. When I looked at the ingredients, sea moss was one of the main ingredients, and I'm sitting here like, they selling sea moss as a face cream for $300, and these people think that I'm like, okay, I'm like this, 300, okay. So yeah, I just need to look up recipes to see how to do this, because I've never put it in my hair. I've done it on my face. I even take some sea moss and put it in the bath. I like taking seaweed and putting it in the bath with the Epsom salt and everything. You really feel like you're bathing in the sea, but your skin is absolutely beautiful. I just need to learn how to do it for the hair without all the particles, because that's the issue that I have, is like you get little particles and stuff, and when you dry,
yeah,
that build up and stuff.
Yeah, it's like same thing with aloe vera. If I take a fresh aloe vera leaf, I end up with, when it dries, I end up with the salt. I have the moisture, but I have the stuff. And I'm like, well, how do I get rid of that? So we just need to sit down and play around. But I would love to have a workshop where we sit down and we make stuff out of sea moss. We make our sea moss gel. We do the mask. We do the hair. We do it all. Just we're creating something here. So I'm happy. I'm writing that on my list of things to do. Create
what you can do too, because I know if you're worried about like making sure that it's able to preserve and have a longer shelf life, they have sea moss in the powdered form too. So maybe you can start experimenting with the powdered sea moss with your creams and gels and stuff like that.
Well, I know that Everett's my business is Everett's Natural Beauty School and Salon, and we have not made our own products. We have had products that we put our labels on, but I want a product that we have created, and so that when I speak about it, I know about it. I know that this does what I need it to do. And I would love for us to make something, and we all profit from it. We create a product, whoever's involved in it, that we make that product and give it a wonderful name and then sell it. We can do that together. Ashe?
Ashe.
Okay.
Ashe.
So whoever will, let them come and let's do it and make the products, the facial products, the and the scalp. And so I'm wondering about one of the major things that sisters deal with, and brothers, but see, they can just shave their hair off, is alopecia, is the hair thinning. And it would be wonderful. So I'm wondering about the sea moss or what other products can we use to address that issue, that will help the scalp.
So let me say something here. From what I noticed from my own personal experience, just dealing with my hair and scalp. Before I actually earlier this year, I had some really irritated, inflamed scalp issues going on, and didn't realize I was suffering from something called seborrheic dermatitis.
Mhm.
It's a type of dandruff that you can't treat topically. Nothing will
Mhm.
work topically because what it is it's a yeast buildup that's on the scalp.
Right.
Well, the only way to treat that is to treat the gut because the yeast means there's yeast in my body and there's yeast going in the gut. When I
Mhm.
started detoxing my digestive system and start replenishing with the liquid vitamin, that's when the scalp issue went away because it was a gut issue.
Mhm.
So I'm like, sometimes I think there needs to be a system that treats it internally as well as topically, because as soon as things happen to like our skin or people, you start breaking out or our scalp and everything, we tend to just want to fix it topically, cosmetically. And it's like, it's not a cosmetic thing. This is an internal thing that's
Mhm.
showing itself outward, telling you like, hey, we got some issues going on here. I need you to change your diet. I need you to stop eating so much sugar, stop eating so much processed food. I need you to drink more water. I need you to detox me, clean me out of all this BS because your system is overload. In addition to, okay, I'm going to shampoo my hair, put a shampoo on my hair that's going to sit for like 10 minutes and really penetrate my scalp and cleanse my scalp, clarify my scalp. There's the type of shampoos that as far as clarifying, purifying, moisturizing.
Mhm.
Yeah, moisturizing, and you know that bring balance to both of everything. So I
Yeah.
think it just needs to be a system like, okay, I'm gonna see you in 2 weeks. Here's your shampoo, here's your conditioner, here's the salve I want you to use. But also in addition to, I want you to make sure that you detox. You want to make sure you're drinking your water, you're taking your tea and
Mhm.
everything. So you really do see a difference in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So
that is so key, Danielle one. That's so key for when they come in and that, okay, here's the package, here is the first, well, one, what have you been eating? What are you consuming inside so we can deal with that? Well, this is doing this is adding to this is taken away from, anyway. But what you're saying is so key. And this is how we're going to deal with this situation. And this is what you're going to agree to. Now here, okay, here it is. I want you to make a commitment and sign this, that we're going to agree. You're going to agree to do this. You know what I mean? Where it's not like you won't, this is, but in a sense of, I know that some people will say, I remember when Sunzi came and we were going to do a detox and she said, if you're not serious, then don't bother, don't bother me, don't send me through this with you, and you're not going to do these things. So it's like an agreement. I'm going to do this for 6 weeks. You're going to abide by this. It's nothing where you're ugly or you're going to go to hell if you don't, but that it's really serious. I'm really serious about helping you. You got to be serious about helping yourself, and then we go through and yeah, yeah. Who was that said?
also address what is it, the source, as far as
Yeah, right.
stress. A lot of, let's just be real, alopecia comes from stress. And
Yeah.
it also, part of it, a lot of women put themselves on the back burner. So they have all the worry about everybody, their husbands, their kids, the bills, the da 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 da. And I know me personally, I had to go back and readapt my whole nighttime routine because my locks were dry. I hate having dry locks. We had to redo everything, even do a skincare routine. So now it's like, okay, if I go to bed at 11, I got to do an hour of just getting myself together for bed, brushing my teeth, getting my face together, getting making sure my hair is moisturized, sleeping with the bonnet. And that takes time. And a lot of women, we realize, don't take the time out to take care of themselves. And that's a part of self-care. So if we take it from that angle, be like, we're going to start loving on ourselves. We're going to create this ritual that, here's the morning ritual, here's the evening ritual that you do every single night, every single day, so that, we can, help heal and overcome the situation.
So we feel in body, mind, and soul.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's all holistic, and like Lorraine was saying, having regular bowel movements is important, which it is, because there's people who don't have any bowel movements like for days, even weeks, and and there's some people that say, well, I don't like to use the bathroom, and I don't want to take this because it's gonna make me go to the bathroom, but you have to go to the bathroom. How else are you going to cleanse your body? Like, your health really truly does start in your digestive system. That's your root system. So, and that's why I was saying earlier, start incorporating more of the bitter herbs like the dandelion, the burdock, the red clover. Because the bitter, even tasting the bitters alone, activates your digestive system. And once it gets
I was going to ask you about that. Did you actually have to have it on your tongue, or is it okay to bypass it and have it in the capsule form? So it sounds like you need to have it on your tongue.
Yeah, I mean, you can take it in the capsule form and it'll help, but just having that on your tongue, the taste of the bitter because of your tongue palate, it helps to activate your saliva glands, and it helps to get your digestive system going.
Okay.
Well, I want to say thank you so much, Danielle, for coming. I'm gonna have you on again because we have to do some things. But this is just really, really good and information just to have in general. And it's a perfect segue because sometimes you forget everything that your people are into. I know Aisha, being the Renaissance woman that she is, I know she worked some time on the farm over at oh God, why am I having a brain?
She fell off. She fell off.
D-Town Farms.
D-Town Farms, thank you. I didn't forgot. And yeah, we gonna talk about the art, I don't know, the art of it all. Because
I'm sorry, just get rid of the background. We don't care what's behind you.
she getting herself together.
Yeah, I was trying to turn it. I was trying to charge it up, but it's got unstable with the charging. So I got enough juice. I got enough juice on it.
Okay, so Aisha, introduce yourself to the Elizabeths and tell us all that you do, because you do so much. You like me. Like,
hold on 1 minute. Mama Head, go ahead and set everything straight here. So when you say, and then also when she's doing like this, we don't say that word, that 3-letter word, because either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. There's no in between. I can't even spell it.
Starts with a T, ends with a Y.
There you go. There you go. We don't say that, or you're going to see this. And what it is, it's good exercise for your buttocks or your yoni, that you're squeezing it 10 times. But the thing is if you mess up, we are a team. All of us have to do it. So.
Got it.
Okay. I know you. I know you, don't I? Go ahead, sweetie.
I've had lots back in the day.
Yes.
You're the drummer. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know you.
Yes.
Of course, I've sung with you.
Fantastic drummer, yes.
It's all yours, sweetheart.
Okay. So I am Aisha Ellis. How y'all doing?
Great.
Good.
Very
fabulous.
good. So I am a mother of 2. I am a musician. I've been a lifelong musician about 33 years now. Also a dancer, maybe about 28 years. Been dancing all my life though, but professionally for about, I say since I was about 18. I'm close to my next chapter, close to my 50s. I will say my 40s have been my favorite decade alive. I have worked on the farm. I come from a line of root workers. My daddy's people are from West Virginia, and they were root workers. My grandfather kept my father from being drafted into the war by making a concoction that caused him to have heart palpitations. So he ended up not having to go to the war. So I come from a line of those folks. And my uncle was actually the one who told me. I was rubbing preparation I made for joints and bones and skin. And he told me, he said, you do what your daddy people did. I said, what you talking about, Uncle Walter? He said, your daddy and them people work with them herbs. And so I was like, okay, so I'm on my divine assignment. I'm on assignment. I worked out at D-Town Farms for 5 years. I was a part of the DCFSN, Detroit Black Community Food Security Network. And there's a farm in the River Rouge area off of Outer Drive in Plymouth that it's world renowned. People know about D-Town Farms all over the world, to be honest. You know, it's gained a lot of popularity over the years. They also have a lot of native species out there, and it's good to eat locally grown food because that's the food that is in your atmosphere that is going to be the most benefit to your body. So it's a lot of native plants out there, beautiful, beautiful, and tasty. Like D-Town had one of the best apple orchards that I've ever tasted, I'll say. Those apples tasted like they were pure candy. I don't know what they taste like now, but when I was on the farm, they taste like heaven's candy. So, musician-wise, I played with a couple of bands. I just recently became a band leader. When the Coco hit, I had to revise what success looked like for me. There was a tour that I was really anticipating going on. It was overseas. It was going to be for like a month. You know, the kids were old enough, so I've been waiting on that opportunity for like 20 years. And when the Coco hit, it didn't happen. So I was extremely disappointed. And I had to find a way to redefine what success was. You know, what does that look like for me? And how can I keep it moving forward? And so my producer and my manager was like, just come to the studio and lay down some beats. And I was like, I don't want to. It was like, just come on, it'll be fine. And so I did. And the more I played, the better I felt. So I was just like, now is the opportunity for me to just redefine something. Like, you know, you can make all the plans you want, but the creator is the master planner. So, you know, it's okay. Even though this didn't happen for you the way you wanted it to happen, it's okay. I got a chance to put music to a short film. A young lady is working on the film, and she asked me to put some music to it. And so I got my band together and we put that music in that film, and it really lined up with the scene. And so now I want to do that even more. So I really I fantasize about putting my music to one of my favorite authors, her screen adaptations, Octavia Butler. So that's the goal that kind of scares me and gives me the ooh. But I'm like, I can do that. You know, I feel it. I'm like, her works need my music to it. And not in the you know, not in a big-headed way, but I just feel really connected to her work.
Yeah.
And I think I've read Wild Seed like 5 times. So I love, and I've read her works since the 90s, you know, and it's always, even if I read the same book, it's like going to the movie multiple times and you miss something the last time. That's how her books are for me. So I see myself evolving into putting music to her works as well. And that would be just a very satisfying experience. I did record an album over the Coco. We are putting it into vinyl form. So that's a process going on that I'm excited about. Like, I'm finally stepping into my own. I've been the drummer for so many other people. and I've finally taken leadership in creating my own space in my own lane. I work with quartet and a trio, so sometimes I'm the Aisha Ellis trio, or sometimes I'm the Aisha Ellis quartet. And we just recently did Beacon Park's Light Up Detroit,
Oh,
and it was fun. It was a good time. The babies had a good time. A couple of them babies was like, I need to hit them drums, and I would have let them if their parents didn't take them, but we had a good old time. I played with William Pope on bass. I played with James Shelton on keys, Devlon Jackson on the flute, and we just had a great time. I play with Molly Wop. I'm the regular drummer for Molly Wop. And I believe we have a New Year's Eve show coming up on December 30th. So I think that's the next time, but gigs come up in between that time too. What else? Dance. I have danced with so many. I've danced with the Omawali dancers. I've danced with Mama Fabayo Manzira. I've danced with Bambuti. I've danced with House of Bastet. We recently did a performance at Mama Shu and Roy's wedding. And I was on tambourine. Mama Het and Herma and Tanae was holding down the dance floor for the belly dance. I also do toning and stretching with a little bit of dance in there too. So I have to get back on the floor. A couple of ladies was asking me when we were going to get back on the floor. I had a series called Core Allure, which targeted the stomach, because most of us women, we deal with the issue of like the 3 stomachs and extra back meat, you know. You know how that goes. So that was a big thing, was just toning the body and getting a little dancing in, moving the hips and getting some of that belly down. And I'm a foodie too. I love me some biscuits. I will eat. So we know how that goes when you like the food. And some of the food I like don't like me. So I've been working on that. I worked at the Detroit Holistic Center as well. I'm a certified colon hydrotherapist. Also, AKA cleaning people chitlins, as we would joke in the office. Yeah. I've done quite a lot of things, but there was one point in time I wanted to be a doctor. I didn't become a doctor. I worked for doctors. I was a medical assistant as well as a Doppler technician, but I would be just so pissed off seeing how the drugs took precedence over really what a person really needed. And just seeing how the drug game was different in the doctor's office, where it's not Pookie and Ray Ray dealing the drugs, but you got Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Smith doing the drug deals. And it's not necessarily good for the patient, because many of those drugs damage the kidneys and the liver and other organs, because it becomes a domino effect when you are on those prescriptions for long term.
That's true.
And that's why you need to, you have to change, you know. And some people, strangely, they love their habits so much that, you know, it's to their detriment. And then, you know, we driving up behind somebody slow because they refuse to tame a habit, you know, tame a behavior. So, which kind of segues into another venture that I've gotten into over the past 2 years. So when the cocoa hit, everything stopped. There was no music going on. So I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? And I had tried a venture a couple of years before then, but I was like, no, I'm too busy. I'm doing this, that, and the other. I don't want to, you know. But then, you know, it was another part of me like, well, this is something that people need to know. Like, most of us in the Black community are not up on this, which took me into financial services. So I was like, well, we do need to know about financial services. Like, my dad didn't leave me anything. Most people's parents and family don't leave them anything, you know. And I say that when a lot of us die, we don't leave our family in zero. We leave our families in a negative. Because I mean, it'd be different if you could just bury people in the backyard. Or be like Conan and the Barbarian, set up the little thing when you about to burn them. It'd be different if we could just do that, but we can't. You know,
send them out on the water.
Float them out.
And send them out. Yeah.
If we could just do that, you know, it would be okay. But I ended up having a sibling transition to the spiritual realm, to the ancestors, because she her habits and her mindset took her out of here at an early age. You know, 45 is early to leave. But you know, death don't have an age or expiration. You know, we know when we get here, but we do not know when we are up out of here. So going through that experience was very traumatizing because the funds weren't there. You know, everybody know what it is when somebody passes, and we fail at preparing. It's the same as Danielle was describing, that nightly routine, or you know, we don't take the time to tend to ourselves properly. You know,
what I tend to find out is we as African American people have a fear of talking about death and what happens after, as if it's going to happen tomorrow. But our other counterparts have their wills, they have their trust, they have everything set up so that when something happens, stuff just gets done, and then we don't, and it's like, yeah, this is not a
and you do a GoFundMe. GoFundMe is not insurance. GoFundMe is not a plan for those he left behind. When my sister passed, she had a son who was in his senior year in high school who did not get a chance to go to college, did not get a chance to do a lot of things because he lost his father when he was like 9 years old, and then for her to pass and not leave anything, and we had a quickly closing window, and I was trying to get her. I'm like, listen, if you're not going to change your diet, change these habits, we need to get you some insurance quickly. And I remember her saying to me, she said, you could save your breath, I'm not doing none of that SHIT. And so it was like, okay, so wow, that's different. But we leave each other in such a lurch with no cares. Like it was baffling to me. And so unfortunately my nephew just was drifting from place to place, not living the best life. I'll put it like that. Not living his best life, not living in his potential. And so once that happened, I said, you know what? Somebody's got to be the person in the family to say, hey, we need to ante up, make sure each other have policies so that when somebody passes, we're not talking about GoFundMes. We're not talking about washing nobody's car, cooking no dinners. Let's handle our business because we're going to die. Don't nobody get out alive. Let's prepare for each other's. Let's prepare for the future to have something when we leave here. You know, it's just that simple. And it's still hard to get that across to a lot of people sometimes. And it's really about educating. It's really about educating how money works, how the system works when death occurs. Investments, you know, have something to the side. Let's invest. So go ahead, Danielle.
I'm gonna interject real quick because one of the things, my mother passed away suddenly at 54. This had to be about 18 years ago. It was a blessing that she did have a policy. She had an insurance policy, where when it came time to take care of the business, everything was already there. And when everything was already said and done, me and my brother both walked away with about $10,000 each. The only thing that was misconstrued back in the day, I didn't have the financial planning to know what to do with that money then. But I am blessed enough to know that at least she had that one policy right there to make sure that we didn't have to go through all of that. So I'm on the other side. I know the importance of having that. my question to you is, what do people need to do like right now? What can we do? Because there's a misconception that having a life insurance policy is expensive. What can we do right now in planning and preparation? Because like I said, that saved a whole thing. I think her whole memorial was like about $5,000, $6,000 that was taken care of by insurance, and then what was left over was given to me and my brother, which we split. That planning is so important. What can we do right now? Because I'm also asking for myself too, because I know I need some insurance. I know I'm young, but life happens. So what can we do now? What is it to get that started? To have something in place in case something happens.
Well, I would say, let's get on the phone and talk. Let's set up a Zoom. We work over the Zoom platform. When the cocoa came down, it went from visiting people at their homes to just hopping on a Zoom call and basically just getting the education, just learning about what do you need for your family. You know what I'm saying? Just, we can go over rates, talk about investments as well. So it's just about having a conversation, It's about having a conversation real quick, hopping on a Zoom and going over what it is you particularly need, because people need different things. There is no one size fits all. And I will say this, most of us in the Black community get swindled into getting what's called a whole life. Unfortunately, whole lives are expensive. They tell you that you'll have a cash value portion. You can borrow from it, but it is really a loan. Now, I don't loan myself money. I don't go to the bank and say, can I borrow $250 out of my account? Because in a whole life policy, there are two parts, life insurance and the cash value. Your money is funding both of them. But when you die, your people only get one. So where do the other money go? So we got to be careful about, I want it for all my life. We say, buy the term and invest the rest. You'll have money later. So it's just about, let's get on the call. I'll put my number in the chat, and just we can have a, yep, yes ma'am. mama had. When the cocoa also came, I was downloaded with a recipe for skin, muscle, and joint relief. And I call it Detroit Slick. And
you got a bottle of that Detroit Slick. Can you show us what it looks like?
I will. One moment.
I'm saying Aisha, a woman after my own heart. It's like she a Jamaican like me. Like, it's just so much stuff that you get fascinated into. But I will say, my experience having that insurance made a huge difference. Made a huge difference. And I think as Elizabeth, we probably need to have a workshop on what is it? I guess end of life planning. There's a lot of stuff that we just need to have.
Yes.
There's conversations that you need to have with your elders and even with your mates and your loved one, and even yourself. Like, do you want a DNR? If something happens to you, do you want them to resuscitate you? If yes, not, you need to have that in writing. We need to have our wills and testaments to keep our stuff out of probate, keep stuff. We just need to sit down and just get stuff right. I remember I had a boyfriend's mother take me by the hand. I was scared. And she took me upstairs and showed me in the closet the folder where her and her husband had all their stuff planned. She was like, if anything happens to me and my husband, everything is set aside right here. I was 21 years old when that happened. That made me go home and ask my mom, hey, do you have everything together? Is everything good? Is it okay? Can we put this on a floppy disk? That tells you how many years ago that was. Now we have things in the cloud. I want this, and this. And luckily, I remember have a conversation with my mom. She just happened to tell me, hey, after going to a memorial service for a friend of hers, she's like, I want to be cremated. I want to be and have a memorial. It was just random. I'm like, okay, no problem. So when everything happened, my family was very respectful. Her brothers and sisters were respectful to the wishes that she wanted to be cremated, that she wanted a memorial service. And there's a difference. We have to have another conversation about that. There's a difference between a memorial service and a funeral. There's a
Yeah.
whole different vibe between the two. Yes, the grief and everything is still going to be there, but there's something about that ritual, about closing that casket and locking the key, that just bring. Whereas when you don't have that, and you don't have that, you still are honoring the person, but there's a difference in all of that. But we need to have this conversation. Do you know what your final wishes are? How do you want your funeral to be? I've been to funerals with people who live totally different lives, and then when the family did, it how they wanted, and I'm like, I did
Girls.
how this person wanted. So we have to have these conversations. You have to write it down, type it out, put it in the cloud, do something so that your stuff gets done right. So
Absolutely. I do want to say another thing is that a lot of people also fear that when they have life insurance that their kids or their loved ones is just going to spend the money, but you can get a trust, and the trust helps to designate how much and when does it come out. Like some people, you can have a trust say, okay, when I pass, you get 25 stacks right off the rip, and then every other month or in 6 months time, you get a stipend of what. You can really map it out, so you don't have to worry about somebody buying a Hummer and rims and fur coats. They're not going to jack that money off, and you can get an incontestable trust. That means if anybody tries to contest what that trust says, they're getting kicked off that bad boy. So you better shed it and get your rations the way that they are said to be given. So it's a lot of things that we can do to really circumvent our children or our loved ones jacking that money off.
Mama
So,
Evelyn?
yeah, I wanted to say that. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I wanted to say that my mother was in a nursing home, and there was that excess money from her Social Security that I paid for everything up front for her. She was cremated. I didn't have a memorial because I figured nobody came to visit her but me and my daughter and sometime my dad. When she was here, I don't need to have a special, we just grieved. And when my dad passed away, I waited 3 months, took my time, and had a memorial at his church. And he was cremated also. So I know that's the way I want to go too, because thousands of dollars on a casket in the ground is I'm not gonna visit his
Yeah.
So
I want to throw this in here that does not come up, and it's a part of our everyday life, is your passwords to your computer, the things that you have. Because my son knows my password, my sister knows my password, so that if she needs to get in there, because we put a lot of stuff in on the computer, and then when they're gone, we can't even get in. We cannot get in there to do anything.
Yes.
And what I just recently learned, your will and testament can be, what's that word? Contested, or what was that other word you used? But your trust cannot. So, just something to consider. Trusts are very important. And we had a session, this brother came on and talked about trust. He broke it down. That is what he does. And he does it with NASA. So when he broke that thing down, they had asked him about this influx of money that's coming in. And so he said, well, so what would you tell these people? And he said, well, I'd show them how to do this with the bank and stuff. And they said, you got to go learn. And this is who you need to talk to, so you can teach the people about trust and how important. And you don't have to have a lot of money to have a trust. You don't have to have that. And still get the benefits, just like those that are the Rockefellers and all that. You still get those same benefits. So we really want to visit. It was last Tuesday. last Tuesday on Mama Razia's show. Yeah, he did the full teaching on that. And but really, it's got to be somebody you trust that you can give your password. And what's the other thing that you need? You know, first, what is the name? What is that word?
Username.
Username and password. Yes. Username and password. So that you can give that to somebody that you trust. And they can go in into all those documents.
Or put them in something and have it shared so they can get to it.
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
Google Doc drive.
I don't know why we're getting such an echo.
We got those password
It might be.
yeah, too.
Say that again, Danielle.
A password, a username and password notebook, and you can list all your stuff in there.
So finishing on up, this is the bottle. Unfortunately, the place that I was getting this bottle from, they bought those bottles in stock, in bulk, and it was like the last shipment, so they don't have any more of these. I've been trying to find it, which is a copper dip glass bottle. And so this is, the infusion is castor oil, arnica oil. I use comfrey tincture. I use frankincense, cedarwood, lavender, ginger, turmeric, and eucalyptus.
Yes, Lord.
And CBD. And it's all in here, and I call it Detroit Slick. And it's a muscle, joint, and skin. It's a helper. And this, I came up with this after I had kicked a wall, and I had cracked my big toe in 2 places, and that pain ricocheted through my whole foot. It took like, it was like a delay, but my whole foot hurt. And I was downloaded with this recipe, and I kicked out of anger, and I learned a lot about anger. At that moment, my feet was like, you wasn't even mad at us. Why are we hurt? Like, my foot was talking to me like, yo, this wasn't our issue. How are you hurting yourself because your anger is misplaced, and now you hurting yourself when you should have just got on the drums, lady. You should have twisted something up.
That's it.
And got on them drums. And so I learned that I cannot, that anger that I was holding on to, I had to disperse that and get that out of my spirit, get that out of my mind, let go of that because it was not serving me. And after I did that, I got a call for a gig to play with Les Nubians in Chicago. So I had to, baby, I was limping. I didn't even let them know how bad I was hurting. I had to get that gig done though. And so I learned, don't you ever put yourself in a position to have to be convalescent and having to work like that. I am a drummer, and it was my foot that I used. So I learned a lot about anger. I learned a lot about letting it go and healing those parts of me that were very angry. And even transmuting that anger into something that is productive. You know, learning how to transmute and change it into something else that's productive that not only I can use, but somebody else can use it. Boom.
Okay, so my question is, how much and how do we get to you?
Okay, so this is a 2-ounce size bottle. This is a $20 bottle, and I have a $10 1-ounce bottle. Just give me a call. I left my number in the chat, so you can call me when you want to place an order, and I'll make some up. I usually do in small batches, but you know, we'll see. I would love to be able to get this throughout the world, and I mean, I use it on my lips. I use it whatever. I
Everywhere.
have people that breathe their scalp with it.
Amen. Here and there and everywhere.
Here, there, and everywhere. I have put it everywhere.
Oh
Are
my.
you ladies, echo? Are you hearing
Yeah.
us?
Hear the echo.
I hear the echo.
Yeah. So I don't see where anyone is doubling up, but is anyone, I don't know what's going on. Star, you have your hand up?
Yes,
Have
Aisha,
people mute who aren't muted. If you're not talking, mute. It'll get better.
Okay.
Aisha, what does that sign say behind you?
Why did I look behind myself? Okay, that sign says, let me go out the way. People need what we do. That's the main part of it. I can't see the little words on it, but it says people need what we do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That is so perfect. And that is so perfect. That's why we're here. That's why we're Elizabeths. We're helping each other so we can help the other people. You're right. People need exactly what we do. And one of the amazing things that I love, because Aisha is also my spiritual sister, and I love her freedom when she dances. And that's one thing I do miss is just dancing, not necessarily belly dance or whatever. It's just getting that extra energy off. So I'm gonna have Danny 2 on another show too. I definitely want to have you on because I want to talk about them roots of them roots, because that's some serious work. We take our herbs internally, but actually working with them on the spiritual level with that spiritual intention, oh, that's a whole nother level right there.
Exactly.
This is knowledge that our great grandmas had, even while they were sitting up there in the church with the white gloves and the white hats. Some of them had some peppermint, leaves in their purses and some other stuff too. So, we're not going to sit here and act like they were holy, but they was doing some other things too. So we have that in our family. We have them in our family. And I found out recently I'm both. Like, I understand why I'm called to that because it's in the bloodline. It's just there. The same stuff that was done then still has significance to this day now. So we can learn some things about how to keep your house protected, how to keep people protected, how to keep people you don't want coming from your doorstep or your property and stuff like that. We can talk some things. And, you can use it if you want to. But I just like being general knowledge because you never know. We are always under attack, under some kind of spiritual warfare, period. And sometimes you just need to use some things to, just do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, I'm down for it. I love it. It all goes hand in hand. And then when you learn the spiritual aspect of the herbs as well, you understand why you're taking that garlic. It does more than just keep the vampires away. It does keep energy vampires away.
Exactly.
You learn why, we have our lemons and our salt and the things and everything it does for the body, it does spiritually as well. So to tie the two together, it's just powerful. Yes, Juanita, my darling, you got your hand up.
Yes, my ladies. God bless you all for all this awesome knowledge you bring to us. I just want to mention that, like you're saying, the spiritual value of our herbs and knowing how to use the things of the earth that God put here for us to use, ain't nothing unholy about none of it. Just because our churches don't teach it, don't make it unholy. So I just wanted to bring that to the forefront. The intention is exactly what you said that makes the difference. The intention behind it. So yeah, God intended it for all of that. All the good that they can do is from a holy source and for holy purposes. It's when we misuse it that it becomes unholy. So I just wanted to bring that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
important to know, like wearing your medicine bags and using your smudging herbs, because smoke signals is how the creator reacts to us, sending smoke signals up to the air with different herbs like sage and cedar and whatever other herb you want to burn at your altar. Very important.
I'm typing this down because I said that's another show. I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, we got to learn that.
Let's see. I just like how everything just kind of smooth and pushed together. And like I said, I got some Renaissance women around me that's just like, oh, we can do some things or some things. And I do miss those drum. Aisha, I'm gonna have to have you come on and we gonna do some drumming, some dancing and some drumming, and just let that release.
Okay.
Just
I
let
have
that.
my tambourine.
She can bring her tambourine. We can do some things with some things. I'm loving it. I'm just loving it. And I'm so appreciative to have all of you guys on. You guys are absolutely, absolutely beautiful. Do we have any questions or comments or concerns or just anything that you want to share from the information that we got today?
Danielle, I'd love to hear, we have a guest that's never been on, along with our guest speakers, but I'd like to hear from Lorraine, if you'd like to share and say, and greet yourself. Greetings to us. And if we could see you.
Yeah, that's one of my spiritual sisters, by the way. We
Okay.
do a lot of stuff with the Kusa Nation, and stuff with the indigenous movement. So thank you for coming, Lorraine, Mama Lorraine.
Thank you for inviting me, and halito, everybody. I just retired. I live in California, in Pasadena, and I retired in December of last year. And I'm originally from Detroit, and I'm coming back to Detroit.
Did you come on camera?
Oh, I look bad. And it's 5 o'clock here, or it was.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not all together just yet. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to, I haven't been in, I left Detroit in 1971. So that shows you how long I've been gone. And I still have siblings there. So, I have to sell my place here, and I'm going through all that. So anyway, I'm looking forward to coming home to Detroit and, finding a place where I fit in. And I was very happy that
honey.
Thank you. And I'm very, Danielle, invited me. So thank you for asking.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us. You can join us anytime, Monday through Friday. When you're up, it's 5 in the morning. Anytime between 8 and 10, we're here. So, yeah, thank you for coming.
Queen of Duty, I'm going to ask you to explain to our guests who the Elizabeth are, who we are, and what our mission and our passion is all about.
Whew, thank you. So not Queen. So Elizabeth is based on the biblical story of Mary. When the angel came to Mary and told her that she's going to have a baby. And one of the things he said, well, how can I have a baby? I haven't had, no sex with nobody. And he said, I'm going to, the spirit will hover over you and you will become pregnant. When she first accepted, she said, well, be it unto me. The other thing that the angel said, oh, yes, and your cousin Elizabeth is also with child. And so, in other words, she was having a miracle as well. So when Mary went to Elizabeth, Elizabeth's baby leaped. And you want to be around people who cause your baby to leap. So you're pregnant. Each one of you are pregnant. I have spoken with each one that know me, and when we come together, we don't gossip. We don't do any of those things. We talk about, so how's this going? How's that going? And when I see, so that's what it is. You want to be around Elizabeth. They are male and female. They are children and they are elders. But when you come together, your baby's leaping. You know, like what's happening with this and what's happening with that. You want to run away from those who are not Elizabeths because they can come and cause your baby to cause you to abort the child, not your physical children, although that can happen as well. But we're talking about our visions and dreams. One of my babies is 40 years old. It's a year older than my son. And then also I have plenty inside. I'm always pregnant with a vision and a dream. What's next for me? So that is what that is. And then, so all of us coming together is the female energy of Elizabeth. So when we come together, and that's why when you come into this platform, you feel that. You feel you get a lot of information, we share, we also cry, you know, because some things is just that day is deep. But here's the space for you to do that and not walk out, not leave like that. So all of us have different things that we bring to the table and to this space. And those who feel comfortable and they come back, return. And what's so beautiful is that when the Lord gave me this, 5 days with me, but to share it, and we have different sisters that host every day of the week. And we talk about any and everything. I mean, any and everything. I mean, we have you let Mama Head, she got us, you know, going from the bottom of our feet, going into where our yoni is and coming up and feel good about this and that. And then we get real deep about wills and testaments. We get real deep about, and then we go over and we have an art day with, you know, Mama Evelyn and the guests that come on. So that's what Elizabeths are about. And yeah, so it's a safe space for you to come and share and be fed as well. So yeah, that's what Elizabeth
Wow.
about
That's
that.
great.
And that happened when I turned 40, on my 40th birthday. I asked God to give me something special for my birthday, and this is what he gave me. And it's 20 principles that you will go through as you know, pregnant with your visions and dreams, you will go through these principles. And if you go to the ElizabethVisionaryConference.org, there you can find out more about that. This came from Dr. Miles Monroe in the Bahamas, and he has since passed, but I grabbed that like Oprah grabbed the color purple, and I was passing it out to everybody, especially when I knew that they are about visions and dreams and bringing forth that. So I am an Elizabeth, period. And my job is about bringing forth your passion and your purpose and helping you to define that and develop that, and that you can also live from that. What your visions and your dreams and what your babies are, you can live financially in abundance with that. So that's who we are. That's who you are. I am your Elizabeth. We are your Elizabeths.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me and inviting me. I think you all are phenomenal women. Those I know and those I do not know. Looking forward to knowing. Danyelle has always been a dynamic woman. She's always on to the next, and also always vibrant and inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, so I am really honored to be here.
I'm honored to be here as well with all you women and the nurturing and supportive energy I'm feeling. Thank you so much for inviting me to your space as well.
Now, this is a space for all women who are on the same vision, on the same level, and it's for us to lift each other up to the next level. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to people who I know we the same. And it's like we all want to be on the next level. So I appreciate, and you guys are all not visions, versions of me. So reflections of me. There we go. Reflection. So I'm like, when I see you, I see myself. And I'm like, you know, Danyelle, I cannot wait to have you on the show again. I can't wait to plan, what is it? These foraging, out in nature, adventures. Because like I said, being with you when that happened, when I found out wild lettuce, I was like, oh, this is dope. This is like taking all the knowledge of sitting here looking at this stuff, reading books and everything like that, and applying it to real life application. I'm like, oh, okay. And then Aisha, you just always been a power force, you know, just
Yes,
always
she's a force.
just a force. It's like, you know, we got so much going on. We're here to help and uplift each other. So I appreciate you guys coming on. And then you can always, like Queen Aduni said, you can go to the, what is it, the Elizabeth
Visionaryconference.org.
Visionaryconference.org, and you can look at the playback, not only of this show, excuse me, but all of the shows. And I know sometimes for me, I start playing the shows like sometimes I just need to hear a conversation going while I'm cleaning up. It's weird. It keeps me focused. I don't know why that is. It's either music or talking to me. So listening, I can listen and still do what I need to do in the background. And there's a wealth of knowledge in the archives. So I know this show is going to be archived. You can always go back. You can get it. You can share it. You can talk about it. And then they have, like Queen Aduna said, there's different shows every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Like I know tomorrow's Tuesday, it's Mama Razia.
Yeah, and on that note, tomorrow we are going to be in our kitchens. What? What? Did somebody put, let me write this in here, Elizabeth Visionary Conference, Elizabeth, A-B-E-T-S. So we're going to be in our kitchens, each one of us, and because, you know, Thanksgiving is coming, Mama Razi is all about nutrition and vegan and live food. So all of us get in a kitchen, pick your own, whatever you want to make. We'll still have conversations, but we're in the middle of, you might have a smoothie that you like and we get to share about that, or you might have a dish that you like that you can make and it'd be done so that by the end of the show, we are all breaking bread together or drinking something together. We were going to do it where there was one particular menu recipe, but then everybody got to go out and buy something. There's something that you can do as simple as whatever that tea is, or using the ginger and putting this, that, and the other in there. Or I remember one of the first things that Danyelle and At Peace taught me when we first met was how to take the nori, is it the nori, and put it, was it that, Danyelle, and put it in the oven and then you snacking on it? It's a seafood thing.
Was that the pita bread? Well, no, that was the pita bread because the nori is already crunchy. You know,
what was that you would put it in the oven and then it's crispy. It's a seafood item.
I don't remember. I remember doing the pita bread, cutting it up into chips and actually, you know, drizzling the olive oil in there and the spike, and we put it in there and it made it crispy. It was like, oh, why are we buying chips? We can just do this. And then the nori, because we had just started with,
yeah, because you could roll the nori and put rice in there.
Yeah, we made the nori rolls. We was making our own.
I'm gonna make that tomorrow. I'm going to get some. That's what I'm going to make tomorrow in the morning. Oh, wait a minute, I can't eat though. Okay. Anyway, but you all can eat whatever, you know how. But anyway, that's what we're going to do in the morning. So you are welcome to come and join us. And the other thing is, if we are on WhatsApp, if you sisters would like to join us, you're free to do that. You just let me know. I'll put my number in here. or let Danielle know that who knows, yeah. And just let me know and just join in, and we throw up all kind of different things, music and you know, it's just a good conversation to have. So thank you all for coming. And I love each of you. You all represent, like Danielle said, I was just thinking about if I was to go through, I would say she is this to me. She's that part of me. Pam is this part of me. Mama Evelyn is this part of me. And I see me in all of you. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful morning.
It is.
So we'll see you tomorrow. And if not, we'll see you when we see you, and have a wonderful life. I don't go around, I don't say have a beautiful day. Have a beautiful life.
Have a beautiful life. Yes.
Beautiful life.
I have to go, ladies. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. This was so awe-inspiring. Okay, and I look forward to building with you, Queens and Elizabeths, in the future, okay?
Me too.
All right, be blessed.
Be blessed. And it's about that time for us to close the show and get on with the rest of the day. This was all inspiring. I'm like, especially since I just cleaned out my herb. If you follow my stories on Instagram and Facebook, I just cleaned out my my herbal cabinet, got rid of all my vitamins and stuff like that, because I'm only taking a liquid vitamin. And I'm looking at my, I don't know, I'll show it to you, but this is my apothecary, you know, all my herbs. And then I have more herbs here. So it's time to just get into everything and organize everything and start getting that healing going. But we're going to close it out. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Share it with a friend. Share it with 2 friends. Invite people on. You know, we got this. But I love each and every last one of you.
Love you all.
Gotta give our, what is it, hug to the world?
Hug yourself. Give yourself some love. And then hug the world.
Hug the world.
Throw that, just shower. That's some love with everybody. Love and healing and peace and joy. And money and circulation and all that stuff. Anything you
all that.
Well, and next Monday, I want to say get your 2 yards of Arabic out. I'm gonna have the author. She's an anthropologist. She is a book author. She helps other women bring their books to birth, and she's also creatress of the Head Wrapping Expo. Yes, I'm gonna have Zarina El Amin on the show next Monday. So I'm gonna get her to actually show us how to do some head wrappings too. So really phenomenal woman. And if you're ever interested in birthing a book into existence, this is to sit here and talk to. She has a whole program about bringing your book to fruition. So I'm excited. I love each and every last one of y'all, and see you guys later.
Great show, Danielle.
Yeah, this was a really great show. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Lorraine, I did see you pop on for a second. I seen you. Girl.
Okay, I'll be back.
Okay.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Ladies, later. Love you.